galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of man. This is the Age of Darkness. Welcome to the Remembrancer's Retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
Hello again and welcome to the Remembrancer's Retreat, a Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm here today with Will.
Hello.
Jared.
Hi.
Steven.
I'm Steven, but you knew that already.
But what about our brand new listeners? They're not going to know your voice. They're going to be like, who's this chum?
They'll figure it out. I have faith in them.
Who's this slippery fellow?
Slippery?
You are rather slippery. You're moist little cretin.
You have never managed to pin me down. In all of our wrestling matches, it's never happened.
Which there are many listeners. So many.
Yeah. Every Nova, there's a secret mud pit room, and Will and I go and throw down.
Not supposed to talk about the secret mud pit room, Steven.
That's literally rule number 1, 2, and 3.
No,
so
rule number 1 is take off your clothes. You can't get mud all over your clothes. Start the whole episode over.
Hello and welcome to the Remembrancer's Retreat, a Warhammer Horus Heresy 30k podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm here with Will.
Hello.
Jared.
Hi.
And Steven.
Hello.
What are we talking about tonight, Jesse?
Tonight we are talking Contemptor Dreadnought, which was just released this morning.
Dude. I know, it's so good. Like, I know it's monopose, and we've had it for a couple years now since, Betrayal of Calth or something, but I am so psyched to see it reboxed.
Will.
Boy, have I got good news for you. Or
what do you mean?
Bad news, I guess, depending on how much you like monopose.
This Dreadnought is fully
poseable.
Oh my god.
It has thumbs, too?
You got ball joints in the hips, you got ball joints in the ankles, the assembly joints in the knees and the elbows are fully articulated.
So many balls, guys. So many balls.
You got
now, hold on. I need to ask this in particular. Does it have a half ball at the waist?
It does have a half ball at the waist. And it has a whole half socket for that half ball to go into.
Oh my god, they did it all. Everything I was asking for.
Yeah. The knee plates are separate pieces.
Wow. Now, did they make sure to put a bunch of junk on the front of the carapace so I couldn't put decals or freehand on it?
No.
I really hate plain fronts. I want there to be lots of junk and gibbets in the way that I have to shave off myself.
I love getting that Dremel out and just shaving off everything.
Well, good news for you boys. That thing is smooth as a thing that's really smooth.
Shark.
A baby's bottom.
Smooth
oh my god.
like a shark.
I didn't want to say a baby's bottom. It felt wrong.
Yeah, how many babies' bottom is Steven going around touching, anyways?
Yeah, that implies that I know how smooth a baby's bottom is.
Now,
it's a colloquialism. It's an idiom.
If the listener doesn't know, you want the listener to go out, find a random baby.
To be fair,
to touch?
All right, guys. All right.
Jesse hit it on the point. It is as smooth as a shark.
Oh my god,
okay?
We are 4 minutes in, and I already have to edit 2 of them. So Jesus. All right.
But yeah, no, there's no big aquila or eye or purity seals on the front carapace. Fully smooth.
Very good.
Put whatever you want.
Which is great because, like I said, I mean, I would say it jokingly, but it's true. I would love to put awesome decals on the front, or as Austin has mentioned time and time again, freehand. Like there's so many good opportunities with a flat front like that.
And it's not just
if you want rid of junk, I mean, they still sell the Legion specific Contemptors, so have at it, you know?
Yeah, and it's not just the chest that's blank. The knee pads are nice and smooth. The legs, the side panels on the legs are smooth.
Do you guys remember years ago when they showed us the pavés? They also showed us a basic smooth Dreadnought.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that guy was the precursor to this, but they and I was like, whoa, is that like an original, like no cool things on it at all Dreadnought? And yeah, it was. And then we never saw it again, just like the pavés.
Maybe it'll show up in
basement.
Maybe it'll show up in 2nd edition.
I'm really digging the Havoc launcher though.
I was just thinking that.
It is neat, yeah.
The Havoc launcher is probably the only part of it that I don't immediately love, but that's just because I really enjoy the old double side-by-side design for the Forge World bit. But that's just me. That's just a personal preference. And we all know that my opinions are objectively terrible.
We do know that. That is, it's almost in
And
the
you'll
book.
hear more about my opinions later in the episode.
So what weapons come with this? This comes with the Gravis bolter.
Well, we got the big ol' autocannon.
Mm.
It's a twin-linked las cannon, twin-linked autocannon, twin-linked heavy bolter, and what appears to be a slight redesign of the multi-melta.
Mm.
Well, for me, I mean, it's a slight redesign of everything. Look at the bolter. The bolter doesn't have the two barrels, top and bottom anymore.
They didn't have a... Yeah, that's true.
Side by side. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll have two that are underslung.
Well,
or
the
just
thing
profile.
Of the weapons here, the thing I like the most is the fact that the autocannon will be in plastic, and therefore the barrels won't warp in the slightest bit of heat. We live in Virginia. Do you know how hot it gets in our cars?
I had a Dreadnought that had two twin-linked autocannons on it, and I took it out for a game one day, and this was when I learned that resin shouldn't be stuck in the hot car while you're at work. If you got a game after work. And I pulled it out, and all four were just drooping like sad ears. Just sad donkey ears hanging down to the ground. It was
Thank you for using
painful.
ears for that metaphor there.
Yeah, I'm
well done.
Yeah, this is a family-friendly podcast, okay?
Goddamn right. But, so yeah, looking at this updated Dreadnought, it basically looks like the resin kit, but in plastic form.
Yeah. Do you guys think the head will be posable too?
Definitely.
Wouldn't that be weird if that was the one thing that they were like, we're not posing
just looking straight ahead?
I want to say
is where we draw the line.
I think they'll probably keep it a separate piece, just because head swapping dreadnoughts when you have multiple kits is super easy and a distinct way to convert them. I don't. It looks like they've tried to make this as convertible as possible, or rather, not as convertible, but as customizable as possible.
Yeah.
So I suspect that the head will continue to be a separate part.
Yeah, a converter's dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, hey, if this is like a regular Warhammer kit or Games Workshop kit, it's going to come with one of each weapon, and that is just going to encourage, oh, you know what? I'm actually looking at the heavy bolter again on my monitor, my big monitor, and you can see that the barrels are side by side, actually.
Yeah.
They're not top and bottom anymore. Okay.
Nope.
Which I kind of like the top and bottom.
It's unique.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, this is definitely encouraging you to buy two for your Talon, right? So you can have one that's dual melee and one that's like a Mortis or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
definitely. Oh, and the fact it's got blunt fingers or claw fingers, which, come on, before we used to have to buy two different weapon kits to get that option. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the inbuilt weapons came separately in those kits too.
Yeah, so one of them gun, only had or the grav gun or something like that.
You had to buy the claw or the blunt hand.
Yeah, so I'm also
this week,
go ahead,
guys. I'm sorry, but this week we also saw the whole box content.
Yeah, we did.
They finally showed that to us officially. The one that we saw a year ago, which is neat.
It feels like that was forever ago.
Right.
I know.
It really does.
I will note here on the air where everyone can hear that I was wrong. There's a plastic Spartan, and I will now have to help Jared do yard work.
Help Jared.
Wait,
I'm going to do any of that.
No, there was no help.
There was never help. There was do Jared's yard work.
I said help with the yard work. It's it's recorded. You can look it up. You can.
Yeah, we will.
You put it in chat first. You put it in chat first.
Yeah.
We can go back.
Yeah,
we'll find it.
We're going by the text document, sir. Okay.
Point is, I'm ready to get knee deep in poison ivy for Jared.
Do we want to?
Well, it's good that you're prepared for that.
There's one last thing I want to touch with this Contemptor, at least.
Yeah, no, there's a couple things too I still want to
especially with the weapons and basically the swapping of them. I'm curious how that's going to be handled, because we have the shoulder and we have basically what I'm going to call the elbow piece, which is that arch, basically.
The circular part that connects to, or you're talking, the arch part is what you're talking about, right? Yeah. Okay.
And that...
so is it going to be like the old kits then, right? Is what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Where that little arch piece comes with one for every weapon, and then that's what you magnetize into shoulder. Or is it going to be like the Contemptor Dreadnought, where you get one of those little arch pieces, and you have to then magnetize the
elbow,
the elbow bendy part? You know,
yeah.
It's interesting. Here's another thing. Okay, let's look at the autocannon.
Yeah.
You see those up and down little brass things?
Yeah, kind of like
I guess they might be considered heat vents or something like that.
cooling.
I always thought
like compensators for recoil.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, that's what I thought. I thought they were gaskets, but they're brass, which implies they're metal. In my mind, I always imagined they were gaskets that were like rubber, and when fired, they retract just like a regular gasket would
That's
around
how
the barrel. Them. Exactly right. But here they're brass, so I'm like, are they actually heat sinks? I don't know. Interesting. I've always painted them up like even on the Sicarans, they have like the gasket looking things. So it's interesting. Maybe they are heat sinks.
And I wonder if they're going to go the route of like Adeptus Titanicus, where there might be some convenient magnet sockets.
Wouldn't that be sick if they were like, hey, we know y'all want to magnetize, so we went ahead and put these little holes in for you already.
I mean, it did with Titanicus. They knew what they were doing with Titanicus.
Yeah, but
they absolutely did.
Titanicus doesn't have a Fury of the Ancients Rite of War where you got to buy 1 billion dreadnoughts, so
well,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think depending on the game size, you might run as many dreadnoughts as you do Titans.
Also, especially in the age of...
I will.
In the age of digital CAD design.
Yeah.
Put in a little 2mm by 1mm hole in something. Shouldn't be too difficult, but then again, I don't know tooling. I'm not that...
How nice is it that we don't see any print lines on this thing?
Yeah, they took their time on it and made it. Yeah, that's true. Because where did somebody see print lines recently in like a newer release?
Titanicus.
Yeah, a lot of the
was it Titanicus?
Yeah, all the new Forge World Knights all have print lines still.
Oh yeah,
on their upper carapace. Yep.
Do we want to talk about what we're actually seeing in the box now and do a sort of an analysis of this?
Sure, let's do it.
Jesse, you pointed out that one of these dudes looks like he's got no helmet but a beak.
Yeah, I found there's a couple of them actually.
There's a Sons of Horus guy right across the street from the Imperial Fist guy, and they both look like they have the same helmet or face, where it looks like they have a respirator beak but no helmet, and that is cool as heck.
Well, I mean, look at the Sons of Horus Praetor. He has a rebreather, and he's still wearing Mark 6 armor. Like he just doesn't have the beak.
And the Imperial Fist Praetor has a ploof, a crest that looks like it could seat on the inside of a helmet too.
And
so
it'd be interesting to see how the Mark 6 helmet, like in universe, is assembled.
So it's funny because I'm sure most of you, if not everybody talking right now, has seen the Arming of a Space Marine video that came out a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
on Warhammer Community.
People lost their mind when they found out that the helmet was multi-part.
That's two separate pieces.
That kind of threw me for a loop a little bit too, but I thought it was kind of neat. But
you look at like a lot of models, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is quite common. Yeah, I've just never noticed it. But yeah,
it's literally on the Primaris captain where his
he's literally holding the top part of his helmet.
Yeah.
Or the Primaris lieutenant, with the Stalker bolt rifle. He's holding this helmet. Also, not to mention, on plenty of the Primaris kits now, they're really enforcing it, is you'll see just the top part of the helmet. You have the Phobos, or the Reaver lieutenant. He's got the top part of his helmet buckled. You have the biker dude. His part is on his belt buckle. Like, there's plenty of dudes who have just the bottom part of the respirator in the Primaris line. So I went digging, and I found that they go way back. There was like second edition ones where it was just the respirator portion of.
There's Chaos Space Marines that have just like the respirator and weird straps that go across the top of their heads.
So 2-part helmets, and now that's not to say that they're always in 2 parts. They can be removed as a single part. We see it happen all the time. But it was just weird to see people like freak out about it. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I thought it was pretty neat because I hadn't really seen that in like an animation or anything. I feel like I've, like you just mentioned with the respirators and stuff, obviously you've seen that, but I don't know, seeing it actually put together was kind of neat. So
no, I get it. And your reaction is appropriate. I am saying there were people who lost it and were like, I'm sorry, that's not how my Space Marines work. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but they're not
It is how your Space Marines work. You just don't like it.
At the same time, there are Forge Worlds all throughout the galaxy. Some might just be a single piece. I mean, there's definitely variations of, like, look at all the different helmets in the Heresy right now. Even though at Mark IV, there's like dozens. Well, exaggerating now, but like
there's dozens of us.
There's like a dozen different helmets of Mark IV.
Yes, that's true. I mean, if we go into like Artifice, and not even Artifice, line troops, right? Mm-hmm. Some of them have slits going vertically, some of them have dots, some of them have slits going horizontally. I mean, even stuff like that is all variations.
Or like the Ultramarines Praetor Mark IV helmet and things like that.
Oh, I mean, I would consider that Artifice. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, any Artifice, yeah, for sure.
We welded all together, Artificed.
Yeah. So in this thing, we also see 10 Terminators, and people are like really wish listing, like, oh, those are all new sculpts. And I'm like, no, my guy.
No way.
No, they are the same Terminators.
Exactly the same.
Like they have the exact same armaments, and they have like they're all still just the only special weapon they have is the heavy flamer.
The poses are the same.
Well, people got excited because they saw the Contemptor Dreadnought. It's like, he's got a new gun. I wonder, like, it's like we saw the blurry photos and stuff. Or like some people were like, is it new? No, I think it's still the old one.
Yeah. And
then I guess the same thing was about the Terminators as well. But it's,
I would love for there to be 10 new Terminator poses, but
but we're stuck with the 5.
That's okay. I do like the Cataphractii Terminators, so
it's a great kit.
I'm just taking the shoulders off and putting them on Chaos Space Marine Terminators anyway, so that's how I'll get my scale.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. That's heresy!
I know, we're using 40k models in a Horus Heresy army.
Which Terminators are you using?
Well, I'm using the Chaos Terminators for the Night Lords. That's what I'm using. The Chaos... I'm not even changing anything on them except the helmets. I'm giving them skull Terminator mask, so they, look like Night Lords.
Okay.
But everything else on them is staying the exact same, and I'm just going to run them as Toreros because they're my models,
and it's going to look really good.
I have so many spare Terminator arms that I'll be running them as Cor Pharon's Anointed. So
it's not Jared. I'm going to leave him gray, and I'm just going for whichever unit is the best and the strongest. Okay. I don't really care about the lore or anything behind
power gaming as 30k intended.
Yep,
that's our meta.
But I think this is a great week. I guess we're done, right? They said they were going to show us previews throughout April, and now we have to wait till the
next week.
Is it the 7th?
Next Saturday.
Literally next Saturday
during Warhammer Fest.
Yeah,
the whole that whole stream
Sunday.
Day.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it's going to be.
Hopefully, it's 10 years. Yeah. Just 10 years of heresy.
I would love to see. Okay, so this is obviously Wave 1, right? This box set is Wave 1. I hope they're going to show us Wave 2 or books. That's what I would like. What are you guys hoping? If they show us like every army's books, I'm going to be so happy. If they don't roll out the books, I'm going to be ecstatic.
Definitely want rule books right out the bat. Even if it came to where it was like when 8th edition came out with just an index of like, okay, here's some basic stuff to get you by.
Rules. There's no fluff. Right. Yeah.
That'd be good. Because I'd hate to see people with different armies and stuff kind of be like clipped at the beginning.
Well, yeah. Because I'm Mechanicum. And if I,
can't play your army.
If I can't play my army,
get militia love. We need to get Mechanicum love.
Yeah, well, that's why they got you the starter kit, so you can just make a new army.
You're right. You're right.
But
I've been telling Ashley for the past 2 years that this kit was coming out. I was like, look, this kit is coming, and I will be buying it when it drops. I hope you are prepared. Excuse me, son, you cannot be up here.
He's referring to his cat, by the way.
Everyone's saying it's a real good week, but I don't know that it's going to be such a good week pretty soon for our wallets.
It's going to be so hard.
What do y'all reckon the price point on the new Contemptor?
I'm not going to try to guess at this point.
On the new Contemptor?
Yeah, for what it's worth.
30,000.
For what it's worth, you can't get the old plastic Contemptor is no longer available on Games Workshop, so you can't price check it.
Well, the old plastic Contemptor was $60.
Yeah.
So there's no need to price check it. We all knew that. So I'm thinking this one will be 60. The Redemptor is 60.
I'm going to say 75.
Yeah, I'd be more.
Yeah.
I would not accept. I'd be mad about it. But I would expect 75 more than 60. Given
it's $1 per millimeter on the base. That's a 60 millimeter base. It's going to be 60.
Oh, that's how that works. Well, then why
Terminators have
$40?
Well, because there's 5 of them.
I see.
So it's $40.
Quick maths.
Wait, so a tactical squad is like $320?
No, guys, they're 32. So you do 32 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 minus 2 because there's no Mark II, and that's how you wind up with 60.
I see. And how do you calculate for vehicles that don't have bases like the Spartan?
You count their tracks. Their tracks. And then divide them by 50 cents per track, adding for inflation since 1918.
I see.
So you got multiplied by 0.5 for every little track tread.
Well, obviously, yes.
Welcome to the Remember to Retreat, an economist's podcast.
Freakonomics 30K, folks.
So for this whole set, I'm thinking, what was the Grandmaster edition? 350?
250?
I don't know. That was 2018. You expect me to remember that?
That was 4 years ago.
I think it was like $350 for a Grandmaster.
I don't think it was $350.
Well, it was like the most expensive box, I thought.
No, the price point for the new Necromunda box has just been released at $300.
Okay, so this doesn't come with nearly as much.
Doesn't come with terrain,
but it still comes with all the gaming
a lot of
support options, right? So
I think
come with dice and
going to be.
I think 300.
There's a Spartan in there.
I'm going 350, guys. I'm going to say 350.
Man,
I would love 50. To be wrong. So,
well,
we'll see.
Yeah,
that
really
being said,
for $275 at the most is how much I'll pay happily. I'll still pay for it no matter what. But depending on the price,
it's gonna be hard because also, when you look what we're getting, depending on what the price point is going to be for these separately. Mm-hmm. All right, so 10 Terminators, that's what, 100, 5 Terminators, what, 60, 65, 50? How much is it?
I think there's 60 for Cataphracti.
I want to say that's right. So 60 for 5, so that's $120 worth of Terminators there.
If we're looking like Repulsor Executioners, $110. So Spartan's probably going to be around there too.
Yeah, I expect the Spartan to be between 1 and 120, and these are all in freedom dollars, folks.
Yeah. Freedom de la Rouge.
This is Eagle paper.
Yeah. I mean, tacticals. Currently, the Horus Heresy tacticals go for $65.
$65?
I
thought they were for $50 for 10.
No, most Marine kits have gone up to $65.
No. Here's okay. Regular Marines are like $60. Mm-hmm. And then the Heresy era ones always cost a couple dollars more. I don't know why.
Anyway,
I don't know why we're debating this. We have the internet. So
yeah, someone looked that up. But anyway, because I know they're probably repackaging the Heresy kits anyway, so it might be difficult to find. But
okay. So Mark III Marines are $55, and tacticals are also $55. Okay, so I lied. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking.
I've been made a liar.
They just felt more expensive. That's
yeah.
Got to pay for the extra armor and a blade of plating.
Hey, wait a second. That's a right-handed power fist. Finally.
What do you mean? Yeah, after all these years.
Where? Oh, on the Sergeant.
Son of Horus Sergeant that's coming forward.
No. This is all mirrored.
All the weapons are right-handed.
This is all mirrored.
All the weapons. Don't just say that. Because then that means all the Marines are left-handed.
Facing this the wrong way.
Yeah, everybody's.
But that also means the power sword is right-handed too, and probably whatever other weapon they give them, a chain sword or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all know that. Also, we know they're all coming with bayonets and chain bayonets. What are you guys going to put on yours?
Probably chain bayonets.
I don't know. Maybe just regular bayonets.
I think those regular bayonets look so cool, but
I really enjoy
me, I don't like the possibility of bits breaking off. And I think the chain bayonets are going to be a little bit more sturdy. They're going to have more surface contact, and they're going to be sticking out less.
I was ahead of the curve when I first got my first box of Betrayal at Calth and those combat blades, and I was new to the hobby. So I don't know how this shit goes on. I stuck them to the side of the bolters. It's like,
holy shit.
So, yeah.
You're like, these are clearly bayonets.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
So I got a bunch of Iron
forward.
Warriors with bayonets right now. So
They don't have bayonets on their guns. They have full length blades, like full knives or swords. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, you know what I was thinking of? Okay, it's Primaris Intercessors are 60.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are $5 more than Tactical Slot. I'm sorry, everyone.
You're good.
I led you
You're
astray, and for that, I will see myself.
Anyway, back to this. So we're looking at $120 worth of Terminators. Because the Terminators are 60, I think. Is that what you said?
Terminators are 60, yes.
Okay. And 55 for 10 tacticals, so 100, let's see, 200, already at $300 worth of models with just the tactical, or just the infantry, plus the 2 heroes, which I think the 2 hero kit came for $50, I want to say, for the old Betrayal at Calth heroes. 50, 55? I'm going to say yes. And, so let's see. 100, 200, 350. We're looking at, let's see, is my math right? 1, 2, 3 heroes. We're looking at almost $400 of infantry, and I haven't even counted the Spartan and the Contemptor Dreadnought yet.
Or the books.
Or the books. I'm just counting the models because I don't know how to price the books yet.
That's a lot of plastic.
54 models.
Yeah.
Also, you're right, Will. The Power Sword is also right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love some right-handed weapons.
Guys.
Yeah.
What?
We got an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that issue is?
Cataphracti and Tartaros are no longer on the Games Workshop website.
Yeah.
Whoa, boy!
Yeah. I said they're probably reboxing everything to match the new aesthetic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's
no
it.
longer
We're using that as definitive proof for new sculpt on Terminators. You heard it here.
That's not what I was going at.
Breaking
You
news.
heard it here first.
Breaking news.
But no, that means that they're going to be rebranded. They're probably not going to be sold under the Warhammer 40K banner of like relic Terminators like they are currently.
It's going to be the Horus Heresy.
Yeah, which I wonder then, are we going to get our own tab on the Games Workshop proper?
Yeah.
Probably.
It'll be Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40K, Middle Earth, and then
Middle Earth will just get bumped off again.
Oh no! Let them have this.
Welcome back to 2010, you Hobbit-loving nerds.
Can we just stop?
We say that knowing that we're all Hobbit-loving nerds. So
can we not?
I was watching the extended edition of Two Towers before I came on today, so that's all I've been doing all day.
Henry into Fellowship yesterday. He wasn't having it.
Not enough dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's a little much.
Or trucks.
It can be a bit for a younger kid at first.
Yeah, he's more in the Sonic Paw Patrol phase right now.
Yeah, Pat, never mind.
There's something about the Lord of the Rings that, God damn it, anyway. It ain't just like fine wine as you watch it again and again as the years go by.
It does. There's no.
I used to watch it every Christmas, and it just fell off for me, and I have not watched it in years.
We'll have to change that.
Yeah, we definitely need to have a marathon.
Yeah, all right. So we
covered. We covered this week's stuff. I'm excited. It's a great week. Looking forward to everything. Very happy. It's got my juices flowing. I'm going back. I'm painting Mortis. I finished up another Mortis engine this week, and I started listening to Mortis finally after months of having it on my wish list. I was finally like, okay, it's time to just pull the trigger already because I need to make sure I'm up to date on Siege of Terra. So yeah, it's
so good.
It's been a good week, guys. That's all I'm saying. It's been a good week for Heresy, and it feels good to have this kind of energy back because for months it just felt like what it
was a bit of a desert. It was a bit of a desert, and with everything going on and not being able to hang out as much and often. But yeah, and seeing this and having like weekly updates and Warhammer, the Horus Heresy being fully supported again.
Okay.
It's going to be pretty damn awesome.
It is. Also, we also got some leaks about the new militia. They showed us the stat line for the new militia, which was, for 40K. They're the 40K version, but we all know they're going to be the new militia for Survivors of the Dark Age.
Huh?
Squats.
The squats. They did a little bit more preview on that, and I love everybody's reaction like, hold up. That's just the old Chaos Space Marine stat line.
What? Shit, it is. Damn.
like Games Workshop was like, all right, so we finally have to update. We have to update Chaos Space Marine because we're going to release squats. So now we are obligated to finally show Chaos some love. And that's the only reason that exactly. That's the only reason that Chaos got the update grade was because squats are coming.
Boy, you cannot lay here. Space Dwarves coming back after 15 years of being extinct for my Chaos Marines to get an update, I'll take it. If I have to suffer yet another Imperial army to get my Chaos Space Marines updated, fine.
But speaking of other militia armies and stuff, we'll touch base on the Ash Waste Nomads.
Mm.
Ooh, those very, very cool
feral
potential
warriors.
militias. Yes.
It is a bit of a tragedy that all the cool stuff with Necromunda is coming out and we're all on permanent 30K hype right now.
Yeah, but such is life sometimes.
Such is life, and I'm excited about it nonetheless. But yeah, I'm definitely buying the 30K set before I buy Ash Wastes.
yeah. Between them, that's almost $600 of set.
Yes.
It's rough.
Now, if they had a SWAT van,
SWAT van. Like an old VW bus with ass cannons.
Yes.
I
know it's going to happen, and I know I'm going to have to buy it and get into that. And I'm just...
have to. Poor you.
But yeah,
literally,
Saturday.
Yes. You guys said the las cannon was redesigned, or the Melta was redesigned?
The Melta is redesigned only slightly in the sense that it doesn't have the joint built in anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because it used to be all part of the whole arm, but now it's just the weapon separate.
It was the arm, yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry. I thought they were like, oh, we're gonna fucking flip the Melta guns now and sort of Space Wolf that shit where they're just it's a completely upside down gun.
Man, I'll tell you what though, I'm a little annoyed at the way they painted these guns. There's so much black on the casing, and I don't want to have to paint that. I would just rather do the whole weapon in lead belcher with some different colors for the muzzle. Now I gotta paint black gun casings.
Oh yeah. I mean, my man, it is your model. You do what you want.
Stipple on some color.
That's Jesse's got it. Just stipple on black in areas and be like, it's chipped. Sorry, it's just chipped paint. My bad. It's in the war zone.
I have been learning a lot about painting weathering these past couple of days. So,
can you talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
No, you can't. You're not supposed to talk about it. It's a secret.
Why would it be a secret?
Because knowledge is power. Hide it well.
Oh shit, he's right. Shut the whole episode down. This is as good a time as any to talk about it. It's a tiny little segue before we get into Siege of Terra. I'm doing a piece for the Nova charity auction. I can never remember exactly what it's called.
Nova Open Charity Auction, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. Nova Open Charity Auction. Last time, Will painted a little starter army for the Ultramarines, right? It was a Dreadnought, some tacticals, an HQ.
It was his own Mortalis force.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was his own Mortalis force. That's
so it was breachers. It was a bunch of breachers, dudes with shields and Terminators and Dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This time it's up to me, and I am preparing for y'all. If you want one of these, you can auction on it or bid on it. It is he's about 8 feet tall. 8 feet tall. Jesus.
Wow.
8 inches tall. 8-inch tall resin display scale Space Marine. Jesse printed him out for me. I have been painting him. We're continuing on in the fashion of Ultramarines, I suppose. He is painted up as a 22nd chapter, the Nemesis chapter destroyer. What is going on in the kitchen?
Just keep going.
I thought that was my wife. Nope, that's somebody else. She's gone. She's didn't leave me.
Anyway.
She just went out to the gas station, which sounds more suspicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, she'll be home later.
A pack of smokes.
Anyway, yeah. That is what I will be contributing to the auction this year. He's going to be beautifully done. Up as a Ultramarines destroyer. That's why I've been learning a lot about weathering lately. I've been painting him up so he's covered in ash. You can see his blue armor underneath, but for the most part he's black. If you want to go over and look at my Instagram, or maybe if Jesse just posts it to the
I'll post it
podcast Instagram, you'll see something similar I did for a Son of Horus. But he's got lots of decals, lots of cool like little details on him. He's going to be super cool.
We'll post some progress pics too.
Yeah, if you'd like to bring him home, he can be yours. That's all I have to say about that.
We'll be sure to get a link and everything for the charity auction.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be sharing that here shortly, but yeah, it is something to look forward to.
And now,
and I can tell you from having seen it, it looks amazing. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And now for the Siege of Terra.
Let's do it.
The following segment contains lots of spoilers.
So many spoilers.
So if you don't want to have Wrath of Magnus spoiled for you, stop now.
Probably a lot of the books. Let's just be real here.
It's true. We might tangentially spoil other books, but the point is you have been warned.
Yeah.
Siege of Terra spoilers ahead. If you're not caught up, tread carefully.
Jump forward to insert time block here to not listen to them. I don't know, Jesse, you can use that or not. I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
How would you not use that, Jesse?
It's quality.
Yeah.
All right, Jared. Wrath of Magnus.
Okay, so
you had some thoughts.
So to our listeners who are less familiar with my tendencies here, I am sort of the spoiler of the group. I'm just really bad about leaking stuff that people haven't read yet. And I've been doing it since before our community was a thing. And I apologize in advance for that. Sorry, Will.
No, it's never been a problem. I am the spoilee. Jared and I have a relationship that we've established where he is allowed to spoil anything for me because I don't care. I'm going to listen to it anyways. It's not going to change the point of view or my experience of it at all. I'm still going to enjoy it, So Jared's allowed to come to me and spoil anything. The problem is sometimes he'll forget he's in a group chat and he'll be like, Will, check this out. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Zach is still mad at me 5 years later that I spoiled Petronium Dorn for him.
Oh, no.
There's a long list of my crimes. Yes, it is what it is. But anyways, so
beyond redemption.
With I've been kind of pushing this. The Siege of Terra books have been out for a couple years now, and they're great. They're awesome. They're wonderful Horus Heresy content. But we have dutifully abstained from discussing the finer plot points here because people need time to get to them, and now we feel like that time is
the time is up, you nerds.
Yeah. If you haven't read it
Slow
already,
boats.
Get off your ass, please,
or get on it so that you can sit down and be comfortable.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, with that warning out of the way.
It just kind of pulled us out of thin air here. We were discussing a couple weeks ago in chat about Wrath of Magnus in particular. That's the novella that happens. It's set directly after Saturnine.
It follows where Magnus does nothing wrong. Wink.
It should have been titled "The Many Crimes of Magnus." The many things he did wrong. So many things. But here we're kind of for Jesse who hasn't. Have you read it? Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay. But you said you were.
Wouldn't it be weird if he was like, no?
I mean, it's been a while.
Well,
it's been a while.
And then Jesse's like, I have to go then because I don't want it to be spoiled.
Buckle your seatbelt, good buddy.
I remember most of the main points.
So, the Reader's Digest version here, Magnus sort of infiltrates the Imperial Palace, gets all the way to the inner sanctum of the Emperor's dungeon and is there. He's talking to the Emperor. He kills Magnus, or I'm sorry, he kills Malcador out of wrath because he's so wrathful.
Wrath of Magnus is a different book.
And
wait, have we been saying Wrath or Fury of Magnus?
I thought the Siege book is Fury.
Yeah, it is. Is it?
I'm sorry, the old 40K campaign.
It is. Yes. Okay.
That
Fury
was
of
spoiling
Magnus.
something 10 years old.
Yeah. He's just
Y'all know
angst,
what we're
next
talking
is
about.
angst of Magnus. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has
Wait,
been.
I thought Wrath of Magnus was like a rite of war for the thousand.
no.
No.
Okay.
No, it's a Thousand Suns versus Space Wolves campaign back in
Oh.
6th or 7th edition, I think.
Oh, jeez.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Anyway,
All right.
I'm sorry.
Move on.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
No, that's very spot on, Jesse. So, Magnus makes his way all the way to the Emperor's sanctum, and he's talking with the Emperor, and the Emperor gives him a pitch. He says, "Hey, man, come back to the fold. Come back home. You're the prodigal son. Please, return to the loyal side, and I will make you head of a new legion that is bigger and better and is not as broken as your other legion. You were done wrong in the past, and we appreciate that, but come back and we'll make this thing right, and we'll kick the traitors out, and we'll make Terra good."
Not great again.
Yeah. I was trying not to go there, and but and of course Magnus turns that down because he can't turn his back on his sons, for some sort of sense of loyalty he's got to them, even though they're so broken.
Even though right before then he vaporizes one of them.
Dude literally turns him inside out.
Like he's like, I can't do it. I love my sons too much. 5 minutes earlier.
Well,
Just zipped out of existence. That dude.
Literally, well, what's the character in Watchmen? Dr. Manhattan. He just
Yeah. Yeah, like
I said no killing. That'll show him.
He's so stupid. He is so stupid. Okay? Magnus is such a fucking baby.
Come on, guys.
Like,
So I completely agree with Will. But the
Hand gets fucking
question-
shattered, and you guys are like, oh, weak.
the question we were getting at was specifically, Stephen and I had vastly different takes on that part, as to whether the Emperor's offer was legit or not.
yeah.
Stephen, you want to give our hot take here?
Yeah, sure. Jared is under the impression that the Emperor was telling the truth, and I'm under the impression that he is not. And that's basically where the line is drawn. There's no reason, in my mind, for Magnus to believe the Emperor when the Emperor's like, yeah, totally, this is fine. Come back, I'll give you a better legion, etc. First of all,
Hold on. No, first of all, whether Magnus believed him or not isn't the question. The question is, was he telling the truth?
No. 100% not. To wit, the Emperor doesn't tell the truth. The Emperor lies to everyone. He lies to Malkador, and in Malkador's defense, Malkador lies to the Emperor, so little tit for tat. He lied to the 10,000 when they went into the webway to fight demons. He lied to all the Primarchs about the nature of the warp and whether or not there was like spooky gribblies that live in there, and more or less lied by omission, but that's still a lie. He lies to the legions. He lies.
Wait. How does he lie to the 10,000? I'm sorry. It just took me a minute to register that you were saying such hateful, stupid, uneducated things.
The Emperor in Master of Mankind isn't super forthcoming or honest about the nature of the Demon of the First Murder. He's not super...
When does he know about him? When is he made aware of him?
Man, I don't know. That book was so long ago.
Exactly, because he's never made aware of him. There is never a report sent to him telling them about this Demon of the First Murder. He only finds out about it once he's in the webway fighting the thing.
I'll take your word for it on that. It's been so long since I've forgotten Master of Mankind. Anyway, the point being, the Emperor, being a supreme politician and forward planner, is also a serial liar. So there's no reason to really believe that he's telling Magnus the truth about a new legion, being forgiven. Secondly, the new legion thing, we know from, what's the short with Malkador, where he's talking to the dying lady.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's First Lord of
the
Terra.
Sigilite. It's the Sigilite.
Is it? Yeah. We know
it is, because First Lord of the Imperium is about something totally different.
Yeah. I think it is First Lord of the Imperium.
Anyway, we know from that Malkador story that the more or less the culling of the legions, probably against each other, or in my estimation, against Mars, is part of the Emperor's plan. The legions are not meant to stick around.
So okay, continue. I will rebut.
And the Malkador says in so many words that while the heresy wasn't exactly planned, it is still achieving the end goal of getting rid of the legions. And there are some people that theorize that some legions would be kept. I believe the running theory is the wolves, the salamanders, and the Alpha Legion would more or less be allowed to persist in some very specialized role.
Gross.
What you gonna do? You can't
First
all
off,
be winners.
For the stuff you're making up is just so wild. He never says that they were going to be cold. He says that we knew betrayal was bound to happen. And that's all. That's because the goddamn Thunder Warriors did it to him before. That's why they knew that whenever they create these legions, this wasn't their first time creating legions of soldiers. They knew from previous events.
They knew, if they knew that the
there was
going to betray them, then they had already planned to get rid of the legions by killing them when the legions betrayed them. Let's see.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So there's really no reason to believe that the Emperor has any intention of making a brand new legion for Magnus. And to that point, when?
Well,
when is he going to have time? There's a civil war going on.
Yeah.
The Primaris.
Well, the Primaris, or wasn't it something about...
It was the Grey Knights.
Yeah. I thought I read somewhere that there was some speculation it was the Grey Knights he was talking about.
So it might be. We know that Malkador is working on the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Whether they'll come into play during the Siege of Terra or not, we'll see. We know that Malkador basically can rip a hole in reality and let them just walk right through. So my money's on them showing up at some point in the books.
Hopefully
cool
kill an
shit,
Angron.
That's my headcanon. That's what I want to happen.
In his stupid demon face.
I got bad news for you. That's not going to happen, buddy.
I think it will. Are they going to do something cool?
Something cool, perhaps, but not bad.
The last time we saw Titan, before it was even pulled into the pocket that Malkador created for it, Garrow saw that it was a fully functional fortress planet,
world, basically. Yeah,
with its own forge. I mean, it's a complete fortress planet that is able to create it. And he even saw they were prepping to have a whole new legion, right?
Yeah.
So that's a legion. So it's quite possible when he put him in this bubble, time moves forward faster, and then he can split it open, and out comes this legion, and maybe loads of them die fighting Angron. But obviously enough live. Anyways, point being,
so it's possible that the Grey Knights, the Grey Legion, whatever you want to call them, could be the legion that the Emperor is referring to when he's talking to Magnus. But it seems unlikely that Malkador or the Emperor would have such a carefully laid, far-thought plan and then make literally any part of it contingent on Magnus' biggest failure on the planet, the Red.
To be fair, Magnus isn't the biggest failure because Lorgar still exists.
He's not on the planet. Suck it.
Mortarion, hello. Worst Primarch.
No, Angron's the worst Primarch. What are you talking about?
Mortarion is the worst Primarch.
That's a whole different,
we're getting off
different argument.
Yeah,
that's an episode unto itself.
Okay, yes, we're all going on tangents. That's true.
So I don't think.
Okay, so you're pivoting this whole thing on the fact that the Emperor's a liar.
Yeah, that was the question, wasn't it?
Yeah. Newsflash, everyone's a liar. Okay.
Yeah, so don't trust any of them.
So
I think what the Emperor planned on doing.
Yes, let's hear what you believe.
The Emperor, I think what the Emperor probably was going to do was offer this whole thing to Magnus, and in the event that Magnus said yes, say, okay, I need somebody to sit on this throne. We're not going to talk about who broke it. It's broken. That's all that matters. We're not going to lay any blame or point any fingers. It was you. Sit on this throne.
He's like to win your legion, just sit on this magic chair.
I need you to sit here.
Sit here. I will be right back.
Yeah, sit here.
I'll be right back with the keys to your new legion.
Keep the gate, keep the webway gate closed with your psychic power. Sit here, take this place for me. I'm gonna go kick Horus's ass. I'll be right back. Promise. I think what was more likely to happen is Magnus says, "Okay," sits on the chair and gets left there forever.
Well, after disintegrating his legion, everyone, you have to remember that this offer was made with the caveat that Magnus destroy his legion because they are trash, flesh-tainted, disgusting cretins that were an accident from the beginning. Literally one of the worst witch legions ever.
The Emperor doesn't, previous to this point, has never shown enough humanity to give you a reason to think that forgiveness and mercy and anything other than cold, hard pragmatism is what he's thinking about.
I mean, there was a whole, Council Ikea against Magnus. I don't think Magnus would have forgotten about that.
Yeah, the Emperor was absolutely not going to give Magnus another legion, another chance. He was going to leave him on that throne and say, find redemption in turning into an ash pile. Bye.
So, here's my rebuttal to that.
Hold on. I have to interject.
Will.
Okay,
interject, Will.
Stephen, you make some good points. The fact is, Malkador had already selected a shard of Magnus to lead the Thousand Sun, or to lead the Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights.
So why would he need the shell of Magnus when he already has the best part of Magnus on Titan?
That's what I'm saying.
That shard was the best part of him. That's what Magnus went looking for, was that shard of him to connect him and to be his whole soul again. But the best part's already gone and locked away on Titan. So literally we literally are left with a bag of dog shit, i.e. current Magnus.
You have a psychic battery. Plug it into the throne.
That's exactly it, man. You're totally right. He was just going to use the worst parts of Magnus and punish him accordingly by making him sit on that throne and wither.
Yeah. The Emperor killed Kojazu for stealing some water, and then took her son.
The last water on Terra.
Hold on. I'm just saying, I am the vessel for the audience right now. And currently, Stephen has convinced me. Jared, what do you have?
So
now, real quick, I want to lay the line down. Magnus is a piece of dog shit, okay?
That's established. Nobody thinks that he's not.
Okay, so you're not going to try to convince me. Okay, we're good. As long as we all know. Okay.
Magnus is the worst. He's close to the worst.
As Steven says, the worst on the planet. Yes.
So here's why Steven is mistaken. I get the Emperor is a dick. He's a dick every day. He's a dick to most people.
He wakes up and he chooses violence daily.
Literally, he doesn't even wake up. He just 12:01.
Doesn't sleep. He just waits for the next opportunity to be a dick.
Yes. And a big part of Stephen's argument is that the Emperor is a dick. Therefore, this is how he's going to behave. My take on it is, yes, the Emperor is a dick. And I believe that offer to be valid, which makes him an even bigger dick than if he wasn't. So
interesting.
Buckle up here. So let's entertain some hypotheticals here. Actually, let's not even do that. Let's go back. Let's think about what it took to set up that conversation. The Emperor knowingly allowed a small gap in the telethesic ward that was keeping all the demons and all the demon primarchs and all the tainted, chaos tainted folks away. He let Magnus in. Knowingly, deliberately. he sets up a conversation with Malkador, one of the most important people on Terra, one of the linchpins of Imperial
Also,
strategy.
Just to confirm with you, it's not just a gap. He basically leads a path for him. He opens up the doorway saying, hey, this is a hole, come right in and let's talk, right? It's an invitation.
Yeah. And he lets Malkador greet him in the I guess it's like the Primarch's sort of staging area. What was going to be the Primarch staging area before they got scattered.
Like the round table or something like that?
They're sort of barracks or something, whatever you want to call it. He lets Malkador and even Malkador and Ahriman are like, man, it could have been a host of custodians who would show up here, but it's just Malkador and his little perpetual, who serves as his green mushroom later when Malkador incinerates him. But think about the risk of doing that. Here is one of the number 2 guy in the Imperium, the Emperor's main man, who he trusts more than any of the Primarchs or anybody else, Malkador, one of the most powerful psychers, one of the most smartest, most important people, the guy who's been there since day one. If the Emperor has a friend, it's Malkador. That's the guy you're going to risk to set up a conversation with Magnus.
Right.
And it goes predictably.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly they knew what was going to happen because Magnus Magnus vaporizes Malkador, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Malkador uses that other perpetual,
the perpetual,
as like you said, as like a Mario Extra Life, where he's just like blah, 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 blah.
She sacrifices herself, and Malkador gets right back up. And still,
but I mean, yeah, they totally knew it was going to happen. Yeah. Okay.
And still, the Emperor lets him into his inner sanctum. The Emperor at any point could have probably been like, "Hey, Valdor, can you take care of this mess down here?" And sent the entire custodian guard down there to wreck house. He didn't. He lets Magnus in, and the Emperor, for all of his faults, which are so many, in some ways he shows some shade of care or concern towards his towards the Primarchs. So some sort of filial.
No, that's manipulation. That has always been a manipulation tactic of his. Because they are emotional creatures. He is not, but he exploits them for them.
See, I think he is, though. I think he is. Is he see? If he wasn't, look at Angron. Really, look at Angron after he finds him at Nuceria. Yes, he blooped him out of there right at the height of his rebellion when he should have stayed and helped out and done him a solid. He does whatever warp shenanigans and makes Angron pass out and smuggles him back to Terra. How tough was that?
Yeah,
to get him on an operating table and say, "Can we get these nails out?"
Yeah, because he wanted to use him because Angron was at that point unstable.
Yeah, I don't think there was any passion. Yeah,
there was no humanity there. It was, hey, this weapon.
Yeah, I just found my gun in the field covered in mud. Can we clean some mud off of this thing and get it shooting again? That's what I think his equivalence was.
I disagree, but what we see here is some sort of his willingness to use flawed people with some Angron, Magnus, whatever. But we see Magnus comes there and he gives him this offer. And Magnus tries, he's within striking distance. The Emperor gives him the offer. He tries to kill the Emperor. And it literally comes down to Vulcan and a handful of salamanders and space wolves who got this crazy vision that they needed to come to the Imperial dungeon to help out. That's what decides it. think about that risk. Think about how much of a gamble he was taking just in setting up that conversation. He was literally one blow away from being dead. Because Magnus, on his own, probably would have killed Vulcan.
Temporarily, yeah, maybe.
That raises the question of, is Vulcan still a perpetual? Maybe. Who knows? But at one point, he's going to land a lethal blow. And I think it's Beric Zytos, one of the 3 salamanders who makes it through, old Earth. And goes on this epic journey with Vulcan through the webway and whatnot, shoves Vulcan out of the way and takes the lethal blow and dies in his stead. That was such a close thing. It's, run any cost benefit analysis on that. Are you really think you're going to let one of the most dangerous things in the galaxy into the very place that you don't want it to be to make him a bullshit offer? Really?
Yeah, I think the cost benefit would have been.
Is that your whole argument? Basically,
no, it's not.
Okay.
Okay. Continue.
I'm taking notes. I just got to be sure.
So the risk there is insane,
but the reward is the Emperor off the throne.
It would be maybe. The workings of that throne. How well do we know that would even work? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even interviews with Dan Abnett, he's super vague about the workings of the Golden Throne. It's not, nobody is going to know how that works, what that'll look like. Maybe he wants to imprison Magnus there. My take that's such a gamble that it's not even worth it, particularly on Magnus, who is truly, truly broken. My ultimate take is that he intended that offer was valid, but Magnus was so broken. Magnus, as you go through the book, he has mood swings. He's showing a lot of indicators of genuine mental illnesses.
Oh, you mean like a normal person?
Yes.
He acts like a normal, traumatized person?
Very much so. Very much so.
Wild.
He's not widely known as one of the more human Primarchs, but in this instance, very much, I think Graham McNeil did a fantastic job of writing him, where, he shows the full gamut of emotions. He saves a giant, a huge group of people from incendiary bombs, giving away his position, giving away the element of stealth, and doing so. But they're also bombs from his own side. He's impulsive to the point of, nuking one of his own guys for disobeying an order. He has just freakish mood swings and he contradicts himself. He's really, really, really damaged. I think they intended to give Magnus that power. I think that's, in an ideal world, if everything was going to work out for the Emperor and Malkador's plans, I think that's what they wanted to happen. But Magnus was way, way, way too broken for that to work. Now, Stephen, particularly a lot of your arguments hinged on the Emperor's a dick.
Not necessarily a dick, just dishonest, constantly dishonest. I think being a dick, but
my take on this makes the Emperor so much more of a dick. Makes him so much more of a ruthless son of a bitch.
Because he dangles a carrot in front of him?
Here's why. Stephen, your perspective is firmly planted in the traitor mindset, because you're a diehard traitor player, as I am a diehard loyalist player. Put yourself in the boots of a space wolf.
It's so sweaty. I hate it.
I know. They're smelly boots. And there's stuff caked in the treads. And
why is it biting me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's not a pleasant place,
I
but
have please now.
you fought on Prospero, where a significant portion of your legion was killed, and you were forced to flee the Alpha Legion, and you fought this whole huge grinding war. And the Emperor comes out and says, "Hey guys, the prodigal son has returned. Magnus, your sworn enemy. He's my son again. Yeah, I know he killed a bunch of your guys. And he's done a lot of messed up stuff, and he's killed millions of people, and he's a giant bastard. But hey, he's my boy now. He's going to lead our new fancy legion and get all this honor and position." How that?
Well, I mean that would obviously make him a bigger dick, but
from a Space Wolf standpoint, the Emperor is the ultimate warlord and thane, and whatever he says goes, regardless of your personal feelings about it.
Like hell. You look me in the eye and tell me that Lehman Russ would stand for that and just be like, "Yes, sir."
I think ultimately Lehman Russ would, and we're getting kind of on a tangent here. But the point.
But hold on. The point is whether or not it's true that he was going to give him the Legion. Not is he a bigger dick if he does give him the Legion. Yes, we know he would be a bigger dick if he gave him the Legion. But you really think he was going to give him the Legion?
I think he was prepared to. Yeah.
See,
because Magnus, at his best, I mean, name another Primarch who can pick up a Capital Imperialis and stop it from exploding and use it as a missile.
Ferrus Manus. He could have.
Yeah. But we'll never know.
My dad was super strong.
I'm not even going to justify that.
So you're saying because Magnus is too big of an asset to, I guess, bring all that way just a trick?
Yes. Yes. The risk in setting up that conversation, I mean, it's insane. And the reward, I mean, if you've got, if you're crafting a legion of psychically awakened
Space Marines,
yeah, sorry. Who do you want leading them? Really?
Well, so those are good points.
The guy with mind bullets.
Definitely, there was definitely a huge amount of risk in bringing Magnus into that room just to have that conversation with him. And you're right, it was a huge gamble. But the payoff, I don't think it goes back to the Emperor being pragmatic above everything else. I don't think he was threatened enough by Magnus. Rather, I don't think Magnus poses enough of a threat for it to be maybe as dangerous as you say it is. Because no matter what the end result is, as short of the Emperor dying, which I don't think was as much of a possibility as the book kind of makes it seem like it was.
So Graham McNeil was wrong.
I don't know that. No, not necessarily that Graham McNeil was wrong.
I think the fact that the Emperor still had that tactical nuke in his back pocket made him to where he really didn't care if Magnus went apeshit or not. If Magnus did go apeshit and was uncontrolled, then he knew he was going to lose, and he would just press the nuke button.
Yeah,
and
so
end it all.
It feels like this: the Emperor is taking a huge gamble.
But that's still losing for the Emperor too.
I mean, the Emperor will respawn basically.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. He's got a 4-second respawn delay, and then he's going to come out as a new Neolithic baby on another planet and take another 10,000 years to rebuild humanity back up.
This is what I'm thinking. This is what I think, Jared, is that the Emperor is taking a huge gamble, yes, but he's throwing everything at Magnus in the 1% chance that Magnus says yes and sits down on that throne. I don't think he's ever going to let Magnus up off the throne. There's no legion for Magnus. The ultimate objective...
there was.
I think the ultimate objective is to just take Magnus off the board. And that happens no matter what.
You're right. In the end, he does.
In this particular instance, Magnus becomes a demon prince and as a result is banished from Terra. His legion...
he's still on Terra.
Well, he's not. He can't get to the palace because now, by virtue of the telephesic ward, he's stuck out there.
The telephesic ward is collapsing.
In any instance in which Magnus says, yes, I'll sit on the throne, Magnus is stuck on that throne. He's off the board. If Magnus says, yes, I'll destroy my legion, Magnus gets rid of a whole traitor legion, sits on the throne, and is off the board. If
Like
Magnus
10,000
says,
guys.
If Magnus says, no, I mean,
Psychically
10,000
powered.
Astartes, 10,000 psychic
Astartes.
wizard marines, come on. If Magnus tries to kill the Emperor, and this is why I don't think it was that big of a threat in the first place, is because everybody clowns on Magnus, right, for getting beat up by a handful of ragtag space marines and Vulcan.
I mean, I clown on Magnus for that.
Everybody clowns on Magnus for that. So
Has
you have
Magnus
to ask the
ever,
question.
listen, has Magnus ever won a squared up fight against another Primarch? No. He is 2 for 2.
Right. So
he
if
got
you're
his
going to
back
clown
broken
on
once, and then he got a fucking hammer in the face.
And Magnus is a wizard. So if you're going to clown on Magnus for all of that, then you have to ask yourself the question, how much of a threat was he to begin with? We knew that, I mean, it's not a problem that he kills Malkador. Malkador dying was practically baked into the plan. Malkador also just respawns with his little
100% was baked into the plan. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So
they had to have that fail-safe there.
If Magnus,
this is all just a game of regicide. You're absolutely right, Steve. Yeah. This is just it. He's just removing that piece off the board.
Regicide in the book. The theme of the book is regicide. So I mean, if Magnus tries to fight the Emperor, right, and then gets the shit knocked out of him by Vulcan and Vulcan's milkmaids, then, like, if he dies, he dies. He's off the board. Every result is Magnus getting taken off the board. That was the whole purpose of bringing him in there, was to get rid of a Primarch.
Which they didn't.
Yeah, they did. He did. Magnus isn't in the throne room anymore, and he's not getting onto Terra anytime soon.
He is on Terra. He ends the book on Terra.
It doesn't matter because he's a gross fucking cretin with wings now. Yeah. And he's never going to be his same place. He's always going to have that demon bind to him. Yeah. So, he's just trash even more so. So, like, he's off the board. He is no threat now.
Yeah.
Like, and he wasn't a threat before. He's not a threat now.
His legion is already...
I feel like Ascended Angron and Ascended Magnus are somewhat threats now.
Really? Yeah. Then why are they dog shit in 40K? Okay? Nobody fucking plays with them.
I don't know what their 40K profiles are, I'll be honest here.
So, at the end of the day...
Will's checkmated me. Facts and logic, folks.
So then, Will, audience, are you convinced that the Emperor was not telling the truth?
Yeah, I am now. And I was fully on board with Jared at the beginning. That I thought this was like an actual thing that he was willing to do. The idea that, which is crazy to think, but the idea that the Emperor could lie didn't occur to me. Well, like, I thought he was genuinely being a good guy.
Papa,
no. The Emperor.
But I too was betrayed by him for falling for his sophistry and pretty lies. Ferris Man said,
it's all just a plan, baby. All part of the plan. We all know the Emperor is like 7 steps ahead of the next smartest guy, right? And the next smartest guy is Malkador, and the next smartest guy after Malkador definitely isn't Magnus.
Who is the next smartest guy?
Which I think it makes it that much better, the fact that his ultimate goal was just to remove the pawn off the board, and I really had not considered that. But Stephen, you make a lot of good argument of points that back up your claim. And I have to personally, listeners, of course, voice your own opinion here, but I have to say that no, his ultimate goal, the Emperor, was never to give him a legion. Though, to coincide with what you said, Stephen, giving him a legion does take him off the board.
Yeah, but I think...
But in a different way.
But I think the Grey Knights are too important of an asset to leave in the hands of somebody, like Jared said, who's so unpredictable and broken.
Here's this. Hear me out. He says yes. What if the Emperor was all telling the truth, right? And he then brings the shard, the good bit of shard, and he merges the shard and Magnus back together, so Magnus is whole again, and he's not such a traumatized little boy anymore, but he's now a big, strong, psychic man.
Oh no, he's
And-
still traumatized, even with the shard. The shard.
But now he has his best qualities back again, right? Because right now, I mean, he
Whatever
is
the hell
at
those
this point. Yeah, stitching. He's really good at stitching and basket weaving with his mind. He's also really good at killing his own men. So, hey, that's a good quality to have
it's interesting.
back.
They mentioned, his best qualities and stuff, but there he was, saving people from, explosions and stuff. Like, I wonder.
It's almost like a person's best qualities can't be so rigidly defined.
Yeah. That's
What a
that's
crazy
another good
concept.
But
the
either way,
Primarchs are
the
people?
Primarch would have had a singular soul again. He would have been reunited with both halves of him. And then, hey, maybe... No, I honestly can't see the Emperor selling Magnus back to the Loyalists after that. Like, I can't see him being like Jared said, like, there's no way the Emperor's going to be like,
the prodigal son
he's cool.
returned.
He's cool.
Fuck.
Trust me, he's with me now.
No,
I don't see that happening.
I think even if the Emperor had given Magnus a legion, he would have gone to his sons, the other Primarchs, and been like, yeah, he's cool now. If you don't like it, well, I'll psychically subdue your legion like I did the word.
If you don't like it, I'll fucking have another civil war with you.
Yeah. Like, the
Emperor,
way. The Emperor
he was not going to risk that.
The Emperor is perfectly willing to emotionally manipulate the Primarchs. It's true, but we've seen he just doesn't give a shit if they're unhappy.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. If the Emperor cared about what was going to upset his Primarchs, you think he would have nuked Monarchia?
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
But no, we're all in agreement that the Emperor's a bad guy. That's not the debate. The debate is, would he have given him the Legion? And no, I don't think so. I don't think that being given a Legion was ever really on the table.
So going back to way back to the Malkador short where he'd talking to that dying woman.
Uh-huh.
We're very quick to put a lot of stock in that out of the word of a perpetual liar.
Of another liar, it's true.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at is, I know there's, there's some government agencies whose task is to, it's like an office in the CIA or something, whose task is to basically, hey, what's a theoretical thing that could happen and how would we respond to it as a government?
Mm-hmm.
I think Malkador, the Emperor, I think they operate on that is, hey, this is a thing. This is a possibility. Hey, this is maybe a thing. And the Emperor said, I can see, 100 steps ahead, but, that doesn't help me when I'm trying to forecast 10,000 steps ahead. Maybe it was the intention to, at some point, yeet the legions and replace them with something better, or just, go back to baseline humanity. Maybe that was something that was on the table and they had thought about, and, further down the line, as it turned out, hey, maybe we need them longer than we intended to. But we're very quick to believe Malkador about that particular thing when he's talking to a dying woman. He could have said, sang Beatles lyrics to her, and it wouldn't have made any more, impact on the wider world. Like, he can say whatever he wants.
I think there's also
something
speculation
that was comforting to her.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that. Yeah, we plan to have a civil war is supposed to be any more comforting to her.
Kind of. Other than, oh shit, we are fucked up. We have no idea how this happened. We don't know what's going to happen. As opposed to, yeah, we saw this coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, this is all part of the plan.
All part of the plan.
Well, I think at a certain point, you, the reader, you have to trust what you're reading, even if you don't necessarily trust the character. Because if you don't, then you're just going to endlessly spiral. You're going to stare too hard into the chicken guts, so to speak. And there's a certain level of...
You're going to scan the auguries?
Yeah. Yes. And there's a certain level of legitimacy given to Malkador's claim in this instance compared to the Emperor, another, serial liar, in that the situation that Malkador is describing, a betrayal, a culling, a civil war, has already happened in the Thunder Warriors.
Yeah, that's perfectly valid. Doesn't mean it's not bullshit.
Sure. But I would believe Malkador's statement there more than I would believe the Emperor saying what Magnus probably wants to hear, you know? And the Emperor is probably not as good at lying as Malkador is, so he's going to say dumber shit.
I don't know, man.
I mean, once the war is over, what does he need a legion for?
We know the war's never going to be over.
When the Civil War was over, he'd have to then restart the Crusade.
Yeah.
So that's why you would need a legion again.
2.0.
No,
I'm sure the orcs have multiplied.
No, he would have to reconduct another unification war.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because you have to reconquer Terra.
Yep. Got to go all
the
over
whole
again.
galaxy.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Well,
You would need...
Okay. Another thing, he asked Magnus to kill his sons, right? He didn't tell him how to do it, though, did he?
No. He just
So
asked him
He
to
just
kill
said they've got to go.
Another thing would have been, potentially, if he could have convinced Magnus, Magnus could have then had his sons do their own little miniature Istvan 5 and potentially fuck up the traitors from the inside and had them kill themselves out that way. You know, I mean, that possibly could have been another idea that he had.
Man, that would have been great.
Right?
Honestly, that would have been the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I
Rather
think
than just being like, sorry, I have to shoot each of you myself.
I think the Emperor probably knew that at this point the Legion is so soaked full of that warp stuff that they're not going to be good to anyone.
Magnus,
There's not enough hot water in the galaxy.
Magnus probably could have sold it to them as like this will redeem your souls in the warp, maybe, or this will like redeem you for all the bullshit you've done. And
see, the problem
is flesh, and you'll go down as like heroes in the Imperium's history book. I don't know.
See, I don't think even Magnus could have convinced them of that. Because if Magnus goes and talks to the Emperor and has a huge change of heart and is like, fuck yeah, I'm going to take my Legion, I'm going to go onto the walls, I'm going to kill traitors until we're all dead. His Legion does not share his sense of remorse. The Legion, Ahriman, the other Magisters, fully believe that they have been victimized basically since conception.
Clowns.
Yeah,
that
the
is
Thousand
true.
Sons are one of the more independent thinking legions compared to their
but they're
Primarch.
also so arrogant that like
exactly.
I mean, when they were living on effectively a utopia of knowledge and magic, only to have all this bullshit happen.
And are so dumb nonetheless.
The Thousand Sons are arrogant, and they're so arrogant that I don't think even Gene Daddy, even Wizard Dad, going and say, hey, we're on the other side now. Whoa. These guys burned Prospero. There's no way I'm fighting for them.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see him convincing the lead. He probably would have had to bolter each one of his dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason intelligence...
behind the galactic woodshed, just like Galactic Yeller.
And there's a reason intelligence and wisdom are two separate abilities in D&D.
Amen.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
You know, we've seen that Magnus can, psychically teleport his guys to various places. Maybe he could psychically just, yeet them all
into the sun.
Into a volcano.
Hey, guys! I found a hole in a telephesic ward. I'm going to teleport the entire Legion in there.
It's right in
all
soul.
Right, everybody get together. Hold hands. And
he teleports them into the webway and just yeets them into the webway to fight demons.
But
so that's totally, if I were Emperor, that was the correct way to handle Magnus tearing a hole in the webway in the Imperial Palace and letting all those demons on Terra.
Stuff him and his Legion in there.
A penitent crusade. Yeah. It happens to the executioners after they mess up at Badab. Penitent crusade. Let them, work it out.
Whoever survives, that's your Legion.
Your kids are going to love it.
That's your Legion you get.
You may not be ready for this, but your kids are going to love it.
Guess what? You know who's good at fighting demons? Psychers. Have at it, boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's a really good... I think this was a good little debate. Listeners, I really would love to hear your point of view. But yeah, there's some very good points of interest brought up here that I myself did not really catch on to while reading it myself.
Jared definitely made good points, but I made better points, so...
My mind is unchanged.
And then what I'd like to hear also from the listeners, get on Discord and let us know, how would have you killed your own legion? Let's say you had 10,000 sons. How would you murder your 10,000 sons? Let's hear it.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of the Discord, that's a cue for Jesse.
That was Jesse. That was your segue. That was like perfectly set up.
Yeah.
Man. He couldn't
Jesse's
have done it better.
completely tuned out. He's been tweeting stuff for the last 20 minutes.
I don't tweet.
I'm going to let y'all fight it out.
Live tweeting our stupid nerd debate.
But yeah, so with with the dawn of a new edition of Horus Heresy.
This is how we're ending it. Yeah,
this is it.
Right at the height.
Second edition, we're done. But so we're gonna, as a group, we're gonna be more active in this community that's basically kind of grown up around us on the Discord. So expect to see some cool things here in the near future. One of the things is, I think Steve and I were talking, we're probably going to have something like a monthly trivia night on the Discord. We're also looking further ahead, and potentially doing a Secret Santa, where, I don't know, Will came up with a great idea.
I'll be hosting it. And if you don't mind, I'll do a quick explanation of it.
Go for it.
The idea will be to have, we haven't really decided if it's going to be just patrons or open to the public. We'll figure out the details later, but it will be a Centurion-based Secret Santa. So the idea is everybody who's involved in it will write in a list, we'll pin a post on the Discord somewhere where you'll be able to put the Centurion that you want for which legion. And then Secret Santas will get emailed out, and whoever you get, you'll reference them, and then you'll just make a Centurion or buy and paint one. Of course, converting is hella cool, so we encourage that. And I think that's a great way for everybody to get something and to probably paint something that they're not normally used to painting. And it's a single character, which I think is easy to do for many people. I think one character is acceptable, and we're hoping to start this around September, so keep your eyes out around then.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And I'll set up a thing where if you have other ideas to hang out with community and stuff, you can always slide into my DMs and give me a heads up. It's Jesse on the Discord. Just don't get weird about it, please. I'm a married man. And yeah, so it's going to be exciting. And I think we're going to come into Horus Heresy 2.0 as a strong community, which I'm proud to be a part of. And
absolutely.
And so with that, once again, thanks for listening to the Remembrancers Retreat. Be sure to like us on Facebook or Instagram at RR30K Podcast. You can join our Discord, which will have a link to it in the show notes. And yeah, we're going to make a stronger effort to be more active in there. I got a new job, so that helps out quite a bit. So it's like a little more flexible and can interact a lot more. So I'm happy about that. If you'd like to support us, go over to patreon.com/RR30K Podcast. And if you'd like, become a patron. And as always, I'd like to thank all of our patrons, starting with our Legion Praetors, Alex Self, Chap Lanissar, Chris Mack, Garner.Tree of Woe, Joe from Music City Heresy, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Michael Tisdall, Mr. Baldwick, Nicholas Quenga, Rena the Floof, Sar Luther, Taco Tuesday or Bus 22 Rock and Roll McDonald's, and What's Ligma? Our Legion Centurions, Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Dave Jones, Duncan, Ed, M. Tanzer, Gore Crow, Nick Hyolda, Richard Bork, Scott LeMay, and Void Imperatrix. And finally, our Legion Sergeants, Aircraft Terrier, Emily O'Hare, Garrett Lowe, Jay DeSales, Jay Grammaticus, Jonathan Crane, Carl, Nick Gillen, Noah Atkins, and the Zoe. And so once again, thank you all so much for your support. We definitely appreciate it. And with that, that's all I have for tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Take it easy.